Welcome back to Newrealities. I'm Alan Steinfeld, and I'm here again with Elisabeth Theiriot. And we've just covered the large cycles of the minds, and now we're going to talk about the microcycles, from the macro to the micro. And that has to do with a book she wrote called Be Fabulous at Any Age. Actually, it's a very beautifully printed book, Elisabeth. And so, yes, you've studied the inner cycles of the human being and also created a beautiful product line that helps regenerate the person. So let's talk about your study of the inner landscape.
Okay.
How did that come about? I mean, where did that begin for you?
It began from attempted failures to use other studies and other products and getting no result. And I realized that there was a lot of marketing with a great hopes that it will do and work for us. But I realized that the beautiful little one thing among the 99 of fillers and bases were really being stopped and interfered by the chemicals they use in order to preserve it.
Well, that's talking about your replete skincare.
Yes, the substances that were not there. So it was all kind of created for self-preservation.
Yeah, but how did you get involved with, because this book is more than that. It's about the whole healthy diet, healthy renovation. So how did you get involved
renovation. I love it.
Yes, how did you get involved with health to begin with? Of course, it's our natural.
I had an inner need to renovate.
You did.
Yes, that's why.
You did. So what did you learn? What did you study?
So what I realized that when I walked away from what I knew as a child and the way I grew up, which was a very natural way of living, was juicing and fresh foods, that I wasn't feeling so well when I did not sleep certain amount of hours or ate foods that were far more acidic than they should be, or they were not grouped correctly. Very quickly, I mean, within weeks, my body said, I don't think so. That's not for me. And I would have reactions to it. So I realized, why don't I try to what I did when I didn't have any of these problems? So it was very simple. I just went back doing that and I said, well, now I know what happened.
But what made you more intelligent, I would say, than maybe the rest of people in your social class? Because a lot of people that I'm sure, eat junk. They eat horrible. They're unconscious. What do you think made you more aware?
I think three major factors. One is self-accountability for my actions, which I think it's missing in most because we always look outside for people to fix problems. So I was taking accountability that if I do this, this happens, and guess what? I'm actually responsible for it. So first one was accountability. Second one was my inner nature of answering why, which is a big one. And the third one, patience.
Oh. So you had some advanced, almost yogic properties that the normal person wouldn't have because they don't have those same skills. Most people, I'm saying.
Probably true, but I think they're basically patience-driven, that they don't have patience and they want instant gratification and results, and they get frustrated quickly. And I didn't have that because based on my self-accountability and desire to understand how things work, I look for logical, practical ways of repeating something with good results, not bad results. I was able to apply myself to finding out why and starting to answer these questions one after one.
Well, I know I'm asking you because that is exactly what I've done. Okay, what makes me feel good? Well, I just ate after 10 p.m. and I'm waking up exhausted and tired. Or I ate too much, not even junk food, just...
Right, well, in my case, it was a little bit more severe. That's where the replete skincare came in because I had young children and we went to a petting zoo and I ended up being exposed to apparently ticks. So I got a really bad case of Lyme disease.
Oh, you did?
And at the same time, when I gave birth to my daughter, apparently I was exposed to yet another one, a virus that eventually... they were both erased, and I don't even have antibodies for it, but from living in a healthy way. But the process was really, really bad. My skin was destroyed where I kind of looked like a burn victim.
Really?
And
from the Lyme
disease, because my body was so strong that would stop it at the skin and would fight it to keep it there so that there wouldn't be internal destruction.
But how did you get rid of the Lyme?
Well, it was after 10 years when I finally realized what it was, because most doctors did not want to test it. We did reverse testing of family of antibodies that my body had, because I created an autoimmune disease at that point.
Oh.
And it turned out to be a Borrelia, which is Lyme disease.
Oh.
So I went on 10 months of intense monodox doses.
Monodox doses of
Antibiotics
that
works against
the Lyme.
Yes. And somehow for that 10-year period of time, it was just disastrous. I couldn't even touch fabrics to my skin because everything was painful. It was raw. At 27, I couldn't put a bikini on me because it was just looking unfriendly. Being a gymnast and having great body and now dealing with a skin that was not looking very sexy, it was disastrous for me. It was heartbreaking. So I found ways and focused on maintaining whatever it was to prevent destruction of cells, to keep rebuilding the collagen and elastin. So this goes in a 10-year research of really working and understanding how do I keep myself from breaking down. And then I went on after monodox, focusing on how I rebuild myself back.
Right.
This is how Replete was created. And then in the process of it, I realized, how do I explain this to people? And the book was born.
Right. So Replete, your skincare product, came out of this illness.
Yes.
And rebuilding your own skin quality. And
precisely.
But what makes your skin product so different? I feel like an infomercial. No, but
it's not infomercial.
No, I know.
It's a good why.
No, I'm interested because I've used them and actually I like them.
Well, the difference is that in my particular case, my focus was on giving the building blocks to what appeared to be a burned down house. So for me to rebuild my skin, I needed building blocks.
Like what?
I needed parts of proteins and amino acids and trace minerals that would rebuild collagen and elastin. I needed silicas to be the structure of it. I needed different type of seeds or seaweeds in order to create the glue that would hold the infrastructure
Why
together.
doesn't all these skincare products use these same methods? Why don't they use it? It seems like
it's very expensive. It requires a long process of research of how it works or not. Some people say my products are expensive, but in reality, you get 100% of nutrients and zero fillers or other unnecessary product to make it look like it's more, but it's not.
Yeah, oh, I see. And you can eat this stuff.
You can eat this stuff.
What was that line that you used the other day?
Oh, it's people tested animals approved, because I do warn people, when you do put it on, the dogs will want to come and lick you, the horse will come and lick you.
Right.
They actually feel nutrients and a value, and it says, I want some, please. And they go and lick you. I'm like, stop! It's
That's funny.
But what's nice about it, that it all actually goes in the skin and absorbs, so they smell it. They
Actually,
animals.
I want to try more of that. That's Replete. What's
RepleteSkincare.com. You can order a product, and we go anywhere you are. So what happens is, I realized that for me to rebuild my skin, I needed to attend to what was going on during a day, because my energy level was high, was low, and we all know that when we are tired, we are depleted of something.
Right.
Something is out of balance if our energy goes away, or some of our body parts, the glands, are not working as they should. So I started studying circadian system, circadian cycle.
Mean? What is that?
It's a day and night cycle. How does day affect night, and how does night affect the day?
So how does our activity in the day affect our sleeping at night?
Precisely.
That's the circadian cycle. Circadian.
It's
and of course,
CIR, yeah.
And it's of course what's thrown off when you travel in a long distance. So.
That's why people that travel a lot on business usually have a little bit of health issues, problems. They age faster, and it's not just the radiation that everybody blames it on. It's more about the glands and the system keeps catching up of, I'm sorry, I thought I was cleansing liver, and now we're on a kidney cycle.
Because certain organs function at different times of the day, and the body gets confused.
The body gets
from its natural
confused
cycle.
because it's not free to complete these cycles, and then there is a leftover. I'm not done. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not done.
So how do you rebalance this cycle then of this inner cycle? Which
Honestly,
you've been traveling, yes.
Sleep.
Sleep.
Sleep and nutrients.
Okay.
I think sleep is the most undervalued commodity we have because God forbid we missed another party. And the truth is that, or workout, I believe that working out goes behind the sleep.
What do you mean behind? After sleeping?
After, yes.
So number one is sleep.
Number one is sleep.
I love sleeping myself. I feel regenerated in sleeping. I do.
Because it's not just that you are down while you are sleeping. The organs actually have a chance to assimilate, absorb, repair, and restore.
Right, and as you say in your book, Be Fabulous at Any Age, and as I learned as an acupuncturist, each organ has a 2-hour slot where they are cleansing and functioning at its highest. So it starts with what? Liver at 11 p.m. I mean, if you want to start there.
Yes.
Into gallbladder at 1 a.m.
And then the lungs by 4 a.m. So there is a lot of grief going on when people, like, say they can't breathe.
Deep breathing as well. It's the critical hour for your lungs.
And it's very interesting because there is a lot of death that occurs around 4 o'clock.
Heart attacks. Right.
Heart attack, death, period.
Because why?
And it's interestingly enough that it happens during the lung hour because breath is what brings, it's the first thing we do when we are born, and it's the last thing we don't do before we pass away. It's when we're out of breath, we die. So, right?
Right.
And I mean, it's that simple.
So the lung hour is around what?
Around
is it
4
3
o'clock.
a.m. to 5 p.m.? So in that time, it's where the energy of the lungs is really activated to its...
So if you are grieving, because grief is associated with hard
lungs.
Breathing and hard lungs.
And the grief is the emotion that's held in the lungs. We learned this in Chinese medicine.
Yes, so it corresponds emotion and organ.
Right, so if you're doing a lot of grieving and it's in your lungs, then what? What do you say?
I believe that that's a really good time to focus on breathing and bringing a lot of peace into your breath, because that will also strengthen the lungs. And that's where harmonic music of 432 megahertz helps to restore the movement that we have in the ocean, the movement that is created by breath into our entire body, where it restores its cycles and regularity to all the other organs. That's what breath does.
Why
to
that
us.
cycle of music?
Because it's how where nature harmonates. So by going there to 432, we actually become one with the nature, and then that becomes supportive to stay on a good vibration.
I see. So what other cycles then do you cover to be fabulous at any age?
Well, let me tell you one more thing about this particular cycle, that by being during the day outside, what we learn is our sleep gets better. So by exposing our eyes to the sunlight, we are able then program our night sleep, the repair, the needed nutrients, and that's where you develop cravings. Okay, I feel like steak, I feel like egg, I feel like vegetable, I don't want to eat anything.
Wait, how do we develop those cravings?
Because when a body decides that in order to create their repairs or replacement, it needs certain proteins or nutrients, it will then develop the want for the dinner. So it's very important.
So someone naturally connected to their body's own feelings will crave the nutrients that you need in order to
in a natural way.
But people, held up on junk food and, garbage and beer and alcohol and cigarettes are not in touch with the cravings, because the cravings they want may be to supply their addiction.
And that's a problem too, because if you go to sleep with mind that it's not intelligent, you cannot repair and restore, and you cannot detox. So having too much to drink, or having cigarettes, or having drugs, or not eating at all, which not having dinner is a very bad idea.
Right.
You go to sleep and you basically are going with a broken computer into repair room. It will never happen.
That is a good point. So you need to be cleaned out.
You need to have nutrients before you go to sleep. You need to have coherent mind, smart mind, in order to go through the processes of assimilation, repair, replacement, and then detoxification of what is left and no longer needed. So these processes have to take place, and there is one more very interesting process takes place. Anything intellectually that you observe during a day, it's actually filed at night into your brain's filing cabinets.
Like what? Give me an example of that. What do you mean?
Anything you go to school for.
Anything I learned during the day.
Anything you learn during a day. Anything you are exposed to during a day. It's not become available as retrieved information until after you slept.
Oh, I see what you mean. So we learn something and then we digest it at night, and it becomes integrated into our lives as a body of knowledge.
Correct. Only after you go to sleep, and it becomes available then. So it's very important when you're studying for the exam. Don't shut the book and go to the exam. Go to sleep. Take a nap. And then go to the exam.
Well, the other thing I like that you said was being outside, talking about those cycles of, so you say about being in the sunlight. Talk about those time cycles there.
Okay, this is very important thing, because they just discovered, Scientific America and BBC just released the newer information where they linked multiple sclerosis directly to different levels of melatonin in our body, where they come to realize that when you don't have quality sleep, the systems don't repair and they break down, and that's why it's multiple, not just one system breakdown. And sclerosis is what?
What is that?
Sclerosis
it's a breakdown
means
of
it's
the
a
nervous
slow
system.
death.
Of the nervous system.
Correct, because it does not have the ability to regenerate, but it's multi, that means multi-system.
Wait, so how does that, how are they coming down with that? Because of what reason?
Because of low quality of sleep. They don't get enough light during a day. They don't expose their brain to program. They don't develop, they don't give their body enough nutrients to repair themselves, because everybody's starving themselves.
So it's directly related to the quality of sleep.
Absolutely.
These autoimmune illnesses that people are getting. So with enough sleep and
nutrients.
And your body in the right cycle and the right nutrients, then your body won't break down.
And this is where this all fallacy that breakfast is the most important part of the meal. I'm really throwing it out into garbage and never looking back.
Really? Tell me, what?
The morning period of time is the period of detoxification. Until 11:30, our large intestine from 6 on is the most active, and all it wants to do is detox, expel, get rid of things.
You know, that's what I find. I don't want to eat a big breakfast when I get up. I'm up a couple hours. I might have some hot water or tea.
That's it.
And then I'll eat at around 11. And then you say, don't go outside in the hot sun.
In a hot sun, because there is really, the sun is most active. So starting from 2 p.m. on, the sun is less active. By 3, it's most friendly of them all.
So go to
and we are the most resilient. How do you like that?
So go out in the after 3 till sunset.
That's right.
And you won't need skin blocker or sun blocker.
No.
From or let's say 4 on as the sun gets lower in the sky.
A couple hours before sunset, because the hours change based on season. So the idea is that I realized that our skin on the face looked different on most people than the body. And I'm saying, wait a minute. Why does this skin looks normal on their body? They have most gorgeous skin and the face looks burned.
Right.
And that's when I come to realize why there was animal testing.
Why?
Because they were using harsh chemicals in a body of paste, either Crisco or petroleum-based products that I can't even pronounce what the bases are.
But animals don't even have skin. They have fur. I mean, how could you use cosmetics on animals?
But they do.
They do?
They do. They use animals. They shave it. And they apply things. They apply things, and they look how deep a hole it burns.
Oh my God!
Because they use irritation as a means to build collagen.
They do?
Yes, sir.
Is that why they do animal tests?
That's why they use animal testing. That's why
on these awful products.
Yes, because they're also caustic.
Oh.
That they wouldn't dare
What are
do
the
it on
chemicals they
people.
put in there? The petroleum-based products?
Well, that's just what they call basofiller. That every single product has except mine. Because I was building one to rebuild me. I didn't need any more challenges.
No, I really think it's important that you've done this research and that you had your own illness and body to work on, because then you knew what was the right thing to put in.
I think I'm only CEO in this world that actually tested every single product on me first, then on a group of people. We had 150 people for 18 weeks from ages 18 to 63, people that signed up for it. And we didn't have one negative reaction after 18 weeks. It's unprecedented. Actually, they had me do it 3 times in order to get certifications in Europe for safety, which we have now for 3 years old and under. That means you're pregnant, you're nursing.
You can use these products.
You can use it. Your child opens it, drinks it, great.
Right.
That's lunch.
Right.
It's not a problem. There is absolutely nothing that is harmful. Because my philosophy was, I only want to give you what is used 100% by the body. That way I don't interfere. And the key is what you need and when you need.
When you need certain products on your skin.
Right. It's not, you don't use day cream at night. You don't use...
How do you make these products different?
Because when I was creating it, I went through every function of the body and I said what it takes not to break it down and what it takes to rebuild it when it does.
What would skincare during the day do that would be different than
Huge difference.
Like
During
what?
a day, we have to have ability to assimilate light, to assimilate particles from air. We have to be able to breathe the way lungs do through the skin to detox. And that's why many people have big pores, because if they clog them, the pores get bigger and bigger to breathe.
Oh, I see.
So you want to make sure your skin can breathe. It absorbs light. You want to get light on your face. I don't even know how to say it. Otherwise, the cheeks fall off because they become
light
soft.
On your face in the proper time of day.
Afternoon, where we are most resilient.
And you're not burnt, and you're not being burnt.
When we are most resilient and the sun is most friendly and least damaging.
So wait, if you don't get sun on your face, your cheek,
what
happens?
happens is nobody tells people that when you use sunscreen on your face, you're blocking the light going to your bones, and your bones become soft, and that's why people facial features change.
Oh, thank you for that. I thought
people
knew
didn't
a lot
realize
about
it.
So great. I'm very happy you've done this research.
Yeah, because then I'm looking at eye sockets. They start to melt away like Play-Doh. And I said...
Because the bones become soft because they're not being fed by the light.
Exactly.
I see.
Because the light keeps your density. If you don't want osteoporosis, make sure you're out in the daylight every day.
Right. So
it becomes brittle and weak, so we need
the
light.
sunlight.
We are meant to live during a day and sleep at night.
No,
we are not nocturnal, so our processes are set up to deal with light, seasons, wind, water, all of it.
So before we go, just give people one more key for living in touch with these microcycles, living in touch with the earth. What would you say?
So now they have finally discovered that our chemistry changes seasonally, so it doesn't matter if you live in Alaska or you're on equator. Our body goes through chemical changes. And it really, really doesn't matter the temperature, if it's 30 degrees difference or 5. Because our chemistry needs to go through the cycles of our own hormones, for example, and aging.
So our cycles need to go from the time of the liver, high function, to the time of the lungs.
Well, those are the circadian. When it comes to the seasonal cycles, the winter cycle is where we are closed in and hibernate, and we hang on to our nutrients, which is very dense. The summer is the opposite cycle, which we are very expanded. It's like a wash through.
We let go of the toxins more.
We let go of everything. We are super expanded. Whatever we eat goes through, like watermelon. Our body is like a watermelon. And in the winter, we like a dense root. like beets.
Because that feeds us more,
with
the
celery.
mineral content.
It holds us on to protect us.
The density holds us more in the winter.
Right.
And the expansion is what we need more in the summer.
Yes. And so the spring and autumn are really transitional seasons. And they transitional times. Because our body ultimately goes from super dense to super expanded. And when you realize that it doesn't matter the temperature, it just one is in more extreme hot weather or cold weather, but it still happens. So our own biological clock ticks regardless of temperature.
Right.
It's the time of the season, and that's why we created serums that address that and makes us resilient, because we need resilience, right? And that's what makes us ageless. That's what maintains our quality, because the nutrients you put in, the resilience you reconstruct, we become more of what we're supposed to be.
And that is why we're here. Elisabeth,
right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Look fabulous at any age with Elisabeth Theiriot and her Replete skincare.
Yes.
Beautiful products
Thank
and beautiful rendition of keeping our human body in health in harmony with the seasons.
And the nature, without chemicals, without causing anybody's harm, and being fabulous with environment.
Thank you for doing this work. I know it's your labor of love.
It's love.
And it's important. And you're here to serve the bigger public with your...
I hope so.
Well, sure, with your micro and your macro cycles.
Yep. Now you've got it all.
And what's your websites?
It's www.repleteskincare.com or elisabeththeiriot.com. And I hope you will enjoy a beautiful life in harmony with nature.
Beautiful. Be fabulous at any age.
You can.
And we are. Thanks. This is Alan Steinfeld for New Realities. Thanks for watching. If you want to reach me, I'm at newrealities.com. Email me at the letter A, at newrealities.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks.
Thank you.
That was fun.
Thank you.